Welcome to the video on morning meals. So with your morning meals, it's the most important time of the day. And I say this a few times in the book, but I want to massively reiterate it here. It's the most important time of the day because it's the first time that we have the opportunity to feed our cells. And when we have that cells first mentality and we do that from the morning, we have an opportunity to feel like $1 million for the rest of the day. And there's a lot of positive things associated with morning smoothies and some of the other morning meals that I've suggested. And after this video, I'm going to include the bonus video on the different morning meals in case you didn't see it there. But what's really, really important is that when our cells are happy and they're getting the nutrients that they need first thing in the day, then we are not fighting an even steeper uphill battle. And the steep uphill battle that we have to fight every single day has to do with all of the marketing and all of the super addictive food that's out there, all of our food conditioning, our house party, all these different things working against us. And when we feed ourselves, then most of that drama disappears and we're able to feel more in control and therefore make smarter decisions, still eating super, super yummy food, eating our favorite foods, but being selective about the quality of the super yummy favorite foods that we're eating. And that's everything. So that tone gets set first thing in the morning. And the thing that I've used for years is the morning smoothie. If for any reason you can't use that, there are many other options. I'm going to give you other options even in this video training. But I just want you to understand that doing the right thing right away helps so much. And I don't have a nutrient dense, super yummy breakfast every single day, 365 days out of the year. It wouldn't be possible. There are days that something happens on vacation, traveling, and I didn't prepare properly or whatever the deal is. But if 80% of my days or more, I'm starting my day right because I want to feel great. I want the emotional, psychological, and biochemical benefits from starting my day the right way, then that's why I do it. Besides, it tastes amazing and I love fruit smoothies and that, up feeling it gives me in the morning. So the next thing is, I get a lot of questions about this. You need to eat when you need to and not because you think you have to. And the reason is one of the only fasts that we get during the day, which helps to kind of reset our body, is when we sleep at night. So if we sleep 8 hours, well, then we get an 8-hour fast or 6 hours or 7 hours, whatever the amount of time is that we're sleeping. And a lot of people ask me, well, if I'm not hungry first thing, do I have to have a smoothie? And the answer is no, definitely not. You want to honor what your body is telling you. If your body's telling you, listen, I'm good, like you can give me a break for a longer period of time and I'm going to be fine. What happens is that some people let it go so long and then they become insanely hungry and then they're going to eat calorie dense, nutrient poor foods that will feel like it's filling them in the moment. And yes, it is filling them, but then they end up feeling like crap afterwards. So it's really important that we have a balance. And so with that balance comes a little bit of planning. So only break your fast when you need to. That's why they call it break fast, breakfast. You're breaking the fast from sleeping in the nighttime. Like I said, there's a lot of things at work. You got emotional, psychological, biochemical, and your house party. You got ego and your emotions and all these different things happening, and also your food conditioning, because you've been conditioned, okay, when I wake up, I need to eat something. And I remember when I was going to high school, we had to get up so early in the morning. I couldn't eat anything. I had to force down one little piece of toast because I wasn't hungry. I'd have my vitamins and a little thing of orange juice, but I wasn't ready to eat at that time, but that is the Western conditioning. Like we get up, we have to, stick something in our stomach so we feel full. And I fall victim to that still to this day. If I have like a long distance travel thing that I have to do, or if I'm going to an airport, I'm like, oh God, I have to fill up, because what if the food at the airport is awful? What if there's nothing available on the airplane or whatever? I have this like crazy mentality where I gotta like stuff myself. And that's from past conditioning. So we have all of these different things at work in the morning. And so it's not that big of a deal, but we just want to be aware. And the path to find the solution usually is through mistakes, doing something and being like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, okay, now I need to fix and I need to figure. So don't worry about that. Like, that's why like the whole, there's no slipping, cheating, failing, falling, all of that kind of stuff, because we're always R&Ding every single thing that we're doing and figuring out, well, what's best. And because no two people's life circumstances are the same, your schedule's not the same, your work environment's not the same, well, you have to find something that works specifically for your situation and your life circumstances, and I'm going to help you get there throughout these videos. So with morning meals, we have to plan, and it's not like we have to strategize, but just like with any area of life, there's always a plan. If we have a partner, we plan to have special time together. We plan to have a certain time at night when we're not on our phones and it's just us, or we will plan to have special dates or whatever. There's always a plan. There's plans for our kids, there's plans for our work, and the area of food, there is a plan. And so I always had to come up with what plan worked best for me in my mornings. And so the plan that I had for my job in New York is different from the plan that I have now where I work and where I work out of and where I live. And so once you find your thing, most likely your life isn't going to change so drastically where you're going to have to be changing your plans all the time. Usually you have like 1, 2, or 3, like going to work, weekends, and then if there's like a business trip or a family trip or something out of the ordinary, there's like two or three plans. But morning meals require a plan. And sometimes it has to do with, well, how long is your commute? So if you don't feel like eating first thing in the morning, to think, well, can I eat during my commute? Can I drink a smoothie? Can I have whatever I plan to do, overnight oats? Is it something that I can do once I get to work? A lot of these things are common sense, and I know that you would be able to figure this out on your own, but I just want to present these questions because a lot of people have the amazing ability to throw in the towel like that. It's like something doesn't work. They're like, oh, this smoothie, if I drink it and I have an hour and a half commute, I have to pull over and use the bathroom because there's a lot of liquids and I have to urinate or whatever the deal is. And that's just the kind of people that they are, where you can change. If you're like that, you can change. We'll talk about that in another video. But you do have to figure things out, and I'll share my story with you in a second. Also, can you eat at work? Most work environments allow that now. They're fine with you having food at your desk. I was a high school teacher for a few months, and there is very different from when I was in school, where food can be readily accessible not only for students but also for teachers. So work environment has changed a lot, but there might be a certain culture, a corporate culture or whatever it is, and they don't want you having certain things, or a smoothie thing is fine, but they don't want like a full sandwich out in front. Whatever the deal is, you just have to figure that out. I even went as far as having a blender. I brought my own blender to have it work, so I didn't have to make anything at home, and I could just make my smoothie when I was at work, and I'll talk about that in a second. So some people will reverse that mid-morning snack and the morning meal. They'll reverse those things out of convenience. So they'll start with just having a piece of fruit or something, some easy sort of a snack. That kind of buys them time to get to work. They'll make a smoothie at home. They'll bring the smoothie with them, and then 9, 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11, whatever it is, then they'll have the smoothie, and that works better. So you can mix and match and do whatever works for you. And of course, trial and error, like that's always going to be the path. Trying to figure out like what works and, you know, what type of food works. And for me, blending at work was a lot easier and I didn't care. And actually what happens is you become kind of a magnet because everyone's like, well, what are you doing? Like, what do you have every single day? And I'm like, oh, I have this smoothie. Oh, can I try some? Yeah, here's a little bit. Oh my God, that's so good. You end up becoming a positive influence in this area at work. So my New York story, there's actually a couple of them. I had to keep experimenting. And granted, like I didn't read a book that was telling me to do this. I was just like, okay, well, I don't feel so good when I have like an egg and cheese bagel and a cup of coffee. It's very filling and very taste stimulating. But later on in the morning, I kind of feel like, I kind of feel like heavy. I want something a little bit lighter. And so I started experimenting. I had got this like greens powder I would mix with water, and I would have that at home real quick before hopping on the train and heading into the city for my job when I worked in New York City. And then I went to not having anything. At that time, I didn't have any kids, so there was no morning preparation to account for. A lot of times when you're getting kids ready, you end up being up for an hour or an hour and a half before you have to leave for work because of preparation. Some people get up and they head into the bathroom. They will shower quickly and they head out the door. So it's like a 15-minute deal. So whatever your situation is, you just kind of have to figure it out. So I would do that. And then about an hour later, I would start to feel a little hungry. So I'd go across the street and I had a smoothie and I'm like, oh, okay, this works. That's kind of how the whole morning smoothie and combining the greens thing, that's where that came from. And later on, I stopped having the water and the greens thing at home, and I just waited until I got to work. I kept the greens thing in my drawer. I'd open it up. I would make the greens thing there. And I was realizing the more time that I was delaying when I started eating, I actually had a little bit more energy. So I was delaying that fast. I was delaying when I was breaking the fast, but I was doing it organically. I wasn't reading a book on intermittent fasting or anything like that. I was just nice and easy doing things organically, not really being guided by anybody. And this is like early 2000s, so there wasn't so many books out about fasting or anything like that. I did know that if you had fruit and smoothies in the morning, because it was so easy on the digestion, you were actually helping to extend the fast that you were having at nighttime in a way, because the stomach acids don't get released in order to digest the fruit and the smoothie, because the fruit contains its own digestive enzymes, and it's still a rest for your body. But I was also aware, because once you get emotionally and psychologically distracted with life and with work, it's easy to quote unquote forget about eating. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you remember, then your cells and everybody in your house party, everyone's screaming at the same time, feed me. And what do you think you're going to eat in that moment? You're going to want calorie dense, which is usually nutrient poor food. If you put like a greasy cheesesteak or a slice of pizza, something like that in front of you, or a salad with a concentrate, you're not going to go for that salad and concentrate. You're going to go for that really calorie dense thing, because you think, okay, I'm in some sort of starvation mode. I need to have something really, really heavy that's going to be satisfying. And that's why we never want to allow ourselves to get to that point. So you want to kind of figure out what is going to be best for you. And yes, after you have liquids, you have a smoothie, you are going to need to urinate within an hour. And that's really, really positive for your system. We get into advanced things like that in the biochemical section of the Transformation Accelerator course. And we go into all the positive benefits that naturally happen from doing things right. But that's how things evolved for me in New York. And to this day, that's what I do. In the morning, what I'll do is I'll just kind of wait. Like I'm shooting this video early in the morning, and I will wait until, I start to feel a little hungry, and then I'll have my morning smoothie. And that works best for me. So I don't have anything like at a pre-programmed time. I'm not rigid about anything. And sometimes I need to have my morning smoothie at 9 a.m. and sometimes I don't need it until 11 a.m. And these are all the kind of details going forward that you guys will figure out, and you'll do it in a way that feels the best and also works the best strategically for your life and for your work and everything that you have to do in the morning. So most importantly, what to have, you want to be happy. Your morning meal should never be a chore. It shouldn't be like, oh, I have to have this thing. It's giving me a lot of vitamins and nutrients that I need. It should be something that you look forward to having from a taste perspective, and also because it feels good emotionally and psychologically, and you get that biochemical return on investment afterwards, where you have it and you actually feel pretty good, or at the very least, you don't feel bad. If you have something and you feel neutral, that's positive, because most of the time what we're used to, and we're just programmed, we eat something and it doesn't happen right away, right after the meal, but an hour or two later, we're gonna feel that kind of feeling. And that can be physical, can be emotional, can be psychological. Usually we're gonna go to Starbucks and we're gonna have something to lift us out of that kind of feeling. That's what we're used to. So you want to have something that you're happy from a taste perspective, from an energy perspective, and you're getting a really good return on what you're putting into your body. So if you're looking for additional ideas other than the ones that I'm going to be sharing with you, you can check out some of my YouTube videos, but you want to be careful just checking YouTube in general, because even if you're doing plant-based things, there are a lot of like morning smoothies that have like tons of like peanut butter and honey, and it's really, really overdoing it, either in the sweet category or too much plant fat to start your day. You really want to be careful. You do want to find something that works for you, and maybe down the road you end up finding that something with oat milk and cashew butter and blended pecans and whatever really, really fuels you, that you do better having more plant-based fats in the morning as opposed to fruits. And that's a possibility. But don't just take anything that's out there. The reason that I'm suggesting the morning meals that I am is because the food combinations are there, especially with a morning smoothie. It's combined perfectly. It's in and out of your stomach. But even some of the other ones, there's a reason why they're suggested, and they're lighter on your digestion. So if someone's suggesting to have toast and a fried egg in the middle with slices of avocado, let the buyer beware. And if you start to not feel so good after having it, well, it's R&D. R&D goes in both directions. It helps you find positive things, and it also helps you to find things to stay away from. So one of the books that I recommend, Kiki Nelson, she's got a lot of really good breakfast ideas. She's got some good ideas for all throughout the day, but especially she's really focused on calorie efficient, nutrient dense foods, and she's also focused on things that are really, really yummy. This is also the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook. Same thing. Breakfasts are yummy, as you can see some of the photos in this book. And also the Engine 2 Cookbook. There are a lot of great calorie efficient, nutrient dense, super yummy ideas in these books if you want to check them out, just to have a couple of extra things. If you love the morning smoothie, if it's not broken, no need to fix it. Just work with what is working for you and keep doing that. And so the morning meal, in summary, this is a yummy kickstart to our day. It's like I used to have Flintstone chewables, the chewable vitamins when I was a kid. And so whatever the breakfast was, even in elementary school and middle school, it would kind of be like, but I had my Flintstone chewables. I'm like, oh, those are nice. Those are kind of yummy, even though they were loaded with sugar or whatever. But it's just like a yummy kickstart to our day. Cells first. So the rest of our day is a heck of a lot easier, and we can make it a success. Also, there is this at least. When you start off with something calorie efficient and nutrient dense, you get this kind of at least feeling where I've already had alkalizing food. I've had cucumber, I've had spinach, I've had fruit, I've had berries. You've done something amazing. It's like that whole mentality with going to the gym, worst first. You do something amazing, you do a HIIT routine or something like that in the gym, and it's like, okay, the rest of my day, I've already done the hardest thing. Well, a super yummy morning smoothie is not the hardest thing you're gonna do, but you're gonna be giving yourself so many nutrients in the morning. And so if the rest of the day is a big bomb, at least in the morning, you gave yourself all of that, which is kind of a good feeling. And some days just go like that for whatever reason, for emotional reasons, for psychological reasons, for celebratory reasons. But in the morning, we're like, yeah, but at least I did that. And that will help to balance things, but it also can make you feel emotionally, psychologically good. It makes the rest of your day and life a lot easier when you're starting your day that way. And you want to find something that you love that is super yummy, calorie efficient, and nutrient dense. And your search can be ongoing, and you can be doing R&D with it for as long as you need to. And most importantly, you want to have fun. So incredibly important, because the whole point of the Kickstarter, the whole point of Food Love and Food Love Transformation Accelerator, everything that we do, life needs to be fun. The area of food needs to be fun and enjoyable. And it becomes more and more fun and enjoyable the more control that we feel in this area, where I believe that when we get in control of this area of life, it is a springboard for us to fixing other difficult areas of life, children, relationships, work, etc. And so it's really important to start off your day the right way. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
So just to reemphasize, with the mornings are key. Now, I don't want this to ever be a stress. Nothing should ever feel like a stress. If it does, then we're doing something wrong. But what's great about mornings is that it properly sets our tone. And you want to have flexibility also. There are some mornings, 20% of my mornings probably within a year, which is a lot of mornings, where I have whatever. I went for a haircut last week, and there was this new bakery that opened up that had awesome croissants in the morning. I'm like, I'm trying that. Croissants and cinnamon rolls. It's like, are you kidding me? Of course I'm trying that. And so because I can have whatever I want, and I know I'm a pro at putting on weight, and I know how to take off weight, I'm free and I can do whatever I need to do. And so in the mornings, if something happens and you end up having McDonald's breakfast sandwiches or whatever you end up having, like, that's fine. But where we're moving towards is finding something that's super, super yummy and that makes us feel great. And if you need to start with omelets and work your way down to smoothies, or wherever you end up, if you end up doing overnight oats forever, whatever you have to end up doing that ends up feeding your cells where you're full, it's yummy in the morning, and you feel really good, that's always going to set you up on the right track. So again, with ending with mornings, it's always got to be fun. It's always got to be R&D. We're just kind of figuring and fixing and experimenting. I've been doing morning smoothies now for many, many, many years. It's my go-to thing. I'm not necessarily looking for anything else, but if something else comes across my path and I try it and I feel amazing or even better than the smoothie, I'm open to that. But what happens is once you find something that works, it kind of becomes your go-to thing. So enjoy the flexibility, enjoy the freedom, enjoy the discovery of the mornings, and really, really feel what starting your day with a cells first breakfast or cells first morning meal, how that starts to change your life and how it starts to give you more and more control with how you're eating and what your decisions are for the rest of the day. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video.